Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, the YouTube channel that is not hosted by a sociopath, a narcissist, or a grifter. So I want to thank my moderator and friend Peter for referring me to this video of Vegetable Police, is why veganism failed him, why he's no longer vegan. So I want to say up front, I made a video about him like maybe 6 or 7 years ago when he first made a why I'm no longer vegan video, and I haven't really followed him since, and I didn't really know much about him before then, but I know he's, since that video from 6-7 years ago, jumped around to many different ways of eating, keto, carnivore, anything in between. And I know he left veganism because he had some extreme gastrointestinal issues, and that seems to be the reason why he jumps around to these different ways of eating for a while, tries them out, and finds the issues don't go away. But anyway, I'm not going to comment on these dietary things. I'm not a nutritionist, a dietitian, a medical doctor, but I am trained in philosophy, logic, and critical thinking. I have a degree in philosophy, went to grad school in philosophy, so I'm going to look at some of the arguments or reasons that he said about why veganism's not good and see if they make any sense. So please don't throw any hate at me. This is not a hateful video towards Vegetable Police. I'm just merely responding to the claims he made about veganism and see if they are true.
That's the difference between vegan and animal protein. The meat is just so easy to digest. It doesn't feel like anything is in there. And you get the benefits of strength.
So like I said, I'm not a follower of Vegetable Police. I haven't followed his life and all this stuff. So if anyone wants to comment down below and let me know what he's saying here, is he just merely describing how he feels like the plant proteins sit weird in his stomach and they don't digest well? Or is he trying to say this is how it is for all people? Because he said this is the difference between animal and vegetable proteins. He should have said for me, if he really meant he was just talking about himself. I just want to say that's not normal to have your plant protein or tofu just kind of stuck in your gastrointestinal system or something like that. So yeah, if he's talking about himself, cool, I have every reason to believe him, but I just want to make it clear that's not how it should be for people that don't have such extreme GI issues as he does. And he says something about strength. Like, what is he talking about? You're saying that you have trouble getting strength on plant proteins, or are you saying all people do? Again, comment down below if I'm not understanding what he's saying.
I've been watching a lot of like longevity talks from people who are talking about this for the last 6 years. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but there's a lot of research that suggests higher protein is nice long term.
Higher protein is nice long term? That's what these longevity experts are saying? Okay, so this is one reason why you don't want to get nutritional advice from non-experts like me or him. Like, protein is nice. Like, what are you referring to exactly? And I'm going to go out on a limb here. Again, I'm not studied in this field. I have no degrees or anything like that. But I think I understand the subtlety going on here, because something about what he said here is actually true, backed by evidence. And the inference he's trying to make people arrive at, like eating high protein is great for longevity, that's just simply not showing up in the research. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So for instance, the National Research Center on Nutrition and Aging has this paper from 2020 on nutrition needs for older adults, protein. So how much protein do us older adults mean? And I count myself as older because I'm over 50. They say the recommended dietary allowance for older adults is the same as younger adults, though emerging research suggests older adults may indeed require more protein. So yes, there's some truth to what Vegetable Police said there. Yeah, there is some connection between increasing your protein a little bit when you're older, but do we really need to be on a high protein diet for longevity gains? Well, this study, titled New Horizons, Dietary Protein, Aging, and the Okinawan Ratio, referring to the longevity of people eating the traditional Okinawan diet in Japan. They said such studies in insects and mice indicated that animals with ad libitum access to low protein, high carbohydrate diets have longest lifespans. And the researchers concluded that the optimum content and ratio of dietary protein to carbohydrates for aging in experimental animals are almost identical to those in the traditional diets of the long-lived people on the island of Okinawa. And what is this Okinawan carbohydrate to protein ratio? Here it is. It's a very low protein diet. It's a very high carbohydrate diet. Again, I'm not here to promote either one. I'm just telling you what the research is saying. So anyway, let's move on and listen to what Vegetable Police has to say about some great gains, some great benefits of not eating a completely vegan or plant-based diet.
You get some muscle mass. You fall over, you don't break your hip. You're not shattering your hands on handshakes.
I mean, is he just trying to be funny there? I know he's a comical kind of guy, like breaking your hands on handshakes. I hope that's just a joke. And gaining muscle mass, you are aware that vegans are athletes as well. Vegans put on muscle. I put on quite a bit of muscle as a vegan. Yeah, I don't look like a bodybuilder, but I'm a basketball player. And breaking hips, yeah, I mean, I learned to slam dunk in my 50s, landing on my ankles all the time, not breaking bones or anything like that. And, you know, there's professional vegan athletes and all sorts of sports, including basketball. So I'm not sure we're talking about how vegans have this disadvantage of breaking their bones and not be able to put on muscle mass. But then again, like I said earlier, maybe Vegetable Police is just talking about his personal experience and not referring to all vegans in general. So has he been having his hand crushed when he shakes people's hands? Is he not being able to put on muscle as a vegan? Let me know down below.
It's a strange transition, though, back to meat. It always is. Like, you're vegan, you're happy, you're doing this ethical thing. It's like, yes, the world is benefiting. Here you go, little buddy, I would never hurt you. Into like full death mode, and you're killing everything. It's not great, but God says it's okay.
All right, I don't want to get into any kind of debate or long discussion here about theology and what the Bible says about eating meat or just eating plants. Is that okay? I've made many videos about this before. We've discussed this many a time on our Friday live streams. But is what he's saying here, I'm going to eat meat because God says it's cool to?
He's happy with it. He's like, eat meat, sacrifice these sheep. Everyone back in the day, they were sheepherds.
Okay, that's a new one I've never heard before on the Friday night live streams, but shepherds from 2,000 years ago, though.
Frickin' sheepherds. Always had meat, milk, frickin' eggs.
All right, so the logic is because there were people from a certain part of the Middle East 2,000 years ago that never heard of the concept of veganism and ate the animals and animal products that were around them, that means it's totally fine and justifiable to harm and exploit and slaughter animals now when we don't have to in 2023?
So I don't know who I feel worse disappointing, the animals that I'm now killing or my vegan homies on YouTube.
Again, my intention here is not to make some video casting hate or shaming anyone, Vegetable Police or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know, was he really vegan, like ethical vegan, or just eating plant-based, you know, and just trying to see how that affects his gastrointestinal issues? But the answer to your question should be, it should be a no-brainer. It's a slam dunk. You should feel worse for the animals that you're now harming and exploiting and slaughtering rather than some homies on YouTube. I mean...
I feel like I'm disappointing them more than the animals. I feel worse about that for some reason.
Wow.
So I felt like I was fighting for the good cause, but the more I look into it and the more I feel in my body, it just seems wrong on every way. Like, all the fruits are not that sweet in nature. Everything you see in the store, it is sweeter than the wild thing that grows naturally.
Well, that's a really weird and disingenuous negative to point out about plant foods, because virtually all foods that humans eat have been selectively bred to produce desired traits that weren't found in the original. So yes, fruits of today are sweeter than fruits you would have found back in their natural states, but that's also true of chickens, turkeys, and cows. Like, turkeys now are like twice as big than their original predecessors. They can't fly and they can't even breed without human help. And is he eating meat from a cow? I mean, does he have access to aurochs, which have been extinct for like thousands of years?
You should see my little tabletop in the kitchen. It used to be like all fruits and normal foods, and now it's like bottle after bottle of supplement that I'm trying to like, oh, maybe this will help me, and it's all protein powders and green powders and maca enzymes, and I turned into a supplement factory.
So once again, let me know, is he speaking about himself personally becoming a supplement factory, or is he implying that vegans in general need to become some kind of supplement factory like he has? Because this is ridiculous. Even at my worst, I never even had a fraction of the amounts and kinds of supplements I had. Like, for most of this year, I've just been taking one supplement, a multivitamin from the Vegan Society. Since then, I added in the sublingual B12 spray that I used to take in the past. I kind of missed it, and due to people's self-reports about how iodine supplement has been working for them, they've been telling me this on the Friday live streams, I just got one a couple weeks ago to see how it is, but there's no need to have all this crazy crap that he has. You could just do it with one supplement. Yeah, it has like B12, vitamin D, and a few others. This one I got from the Vegan Society, and I feel great.
And the reality is, if you're out in nature, there's a good chance you're gonna die as a vegan without your B12 and other things.
Out in nature? Like, what are you talking about? You live in the civilized world. You have access to food. You have access to supplements, obviously. But even if you were trapped on a desert island or something like that, and only had plants to eat, it takes a long time to deplete your B12 stores. I went over 5, maybe 6 years before ever taking a B12 supplement. And I want to add, I did that responsibly. I was getting my blood checked during the entire time.
What would you even do? I mean, I would die in nature regardless of what I wanted to eat because I couldn't catch a squirrel or a fish. All the fruit would be unripe. I couldn't even climb the tree.
Well, yes, that's my point. You're not like existing in some kind of survival situation in nature or something like that. You don't have to live like ancient cave people did or something like that. You live in the civilized world just as I do and most viewers that watch YouTube do. So it's kind of weird when I hear people use this kind of appeal to ancient people, ancient cavemen, people living on the fringes of the environment, which these people don't happen to be any of that stuff. They're just people just like you and me watching on their laptops and cell phones in the civilized world. They have access to supermarkets, grocery stores, bodegas, farmers markets, access to food delivery, Amazon delivery. You know, no need to, you know, you can get your supplements, what I'm saying, if you need to take some as a vegan. So anyway, guys, again, comment down below if you think I was somehow off in my response here. And if you're watching Vegetable Police, feel free to comment. And like I said, I'm trying my best to review this as objectively as possible. I'm not trying to cast any blame. I'm not trying to shame you for not being vegan anymore. And if you are watching or anyone else, let me know, is he really vegan? It just sounds like to me. And again, I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, that he was trying different diets and one diet happened to be a vegan diet, but unless you have the ethical mindset, you know, you're against animal cruelty and exploitation, if you're just kind of trying a diet, just trying to tweak things and see how it affects your digestion, I don't know. I'm not really sure if, you know, if it's proper to say that he was vegan. Let me know down below. Again, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just letting you know I'm ignorant on this topic. I haven't followed him, and I don't know what his beliefs are. So educate me, inform me, help me out down there. So anyway, guys, hit like, please share this video, become a channel member. Thanks to all the happy fams, and we'll see you Friday in the live stream, guys. So until next time, guys, remember, doesn't suck being vegan.